So we'll be talking about compute services here, right? Compute services. In compute services, when we talk about configuration, the services which have in the configuration of compute services, we have, what do we have in the compute services? So first thing is memory. Now, if you consider your laptop or a desktop, you can consider as RAM, okay? Your memory. Storage means your disk drive. If you consider it as your system, it will be disk drive, means your ROM, right? What else? Processor. Storage, that only, ROM only. Okay. Processor,
Network.
network, right? Processor may be the architecture of the processor may be like it can be an ARM architecture, it can be x64, it can be x86. These type of architectures can be the like processors. Then network, right?
Yeah.
Network is also needed. So these are some configurations which compute services do need. Okay.
Operating system and
That will come under software. Okay. Software. You have operating system. It can be Linux. It can be Windows. Can be Mac. Right.
Ubuntu.
Those are flavors of Linux. Okay. There can be different flavors of Linux. Okay. Windows system and Mac as well. These are operating systems which are at present we have. Okay. So these are all configurations in the compute services. So all these contribute to what we say compute services. Now we're talking about compute services. There are different compute services in Azure. Now those compute services may fall in different categories of services. What were the categories of? So categories of Azure services. So in the categories of Azure services,
Network.
it was divided into infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. These three categories are there in Azure. Now, this compute services, maybe it can fall into IaaS, the first category, infrastructure as a service, means the whole infrastructure is provided to you from the Azure side. It may fall into the PaaS category, platform as a service, means they will provide you the platform. Who? The third party. Who is the third party here? Azure is the third party. Okay. The cloud. So they can provide you the platform. And what you can do, you can directly come and deploy your application. That is a platform. They're providing the platform. What is the platform? The software, operating system, maybe Linux, Windows. They can provide you that. And over that, you can come and deploy your application. And third kind category is they can provide you whole software. You just come in, install that software or create that software in Azure and you can use it. So these are three categories in which all the other services are divided. Similarly, this compute service is also divided into three categories. So now in compute services, when we talk about what? In compute services, when we talk about IaaS, infrastructure type of service. So the first type of service which came into picture is virtual machine. Virtual machine. Now, similar to your desktop or a laptop, there is a virtual machine. The difference is that everything in that virtual machine will be same. Everything will in that virtual machine will be same. The configuration, everything, whatever here I have written, everything will be same. let me do this. Okay. So everything is in this virtual machine can be similar to this configuration. Whatever we have written over here can be similar to this configuration. But the difference is that whenever you are using your machine, that is a physical machine. Like you are present in front of that machine, you are using it. Maybe it is a laptop or a desktop, but here you will be using it virtually. That's why it is called a virtual machine. So user will connect, user will connect to it virtually. The second thing is that physical machine cannot be scaled, right? Physical machine can be scaled, but there is a lot of cost involved. How the cost is involved? For example, I have one laptop and I've created a website or deployed a website in my laptop and I'm serving the users, the customers. Now customer numbers are increasing and my laptop where the website is running can only support, say for example, 10,000 requests. So what I need to do? I need to bring another machine. I need to bring another machine so that if people are increasing, my users are increasing over the website, if I'll not add any other machine to my network, what will happen? My server might get crash. Okay, due to overload of the request. My server might get crash. So what I need to do? I need to again go to the shop. I need to again purchase a new one and I need to add it to my network. So I'll be having two laptops, then three, four, five. I can create a network so that my machine can serve the users over the internet over that application, the users of that application which I deployed. Okay, but there is a lot of cost involved here. Why? Because I'll go to the market, I'll purchase that some machine or server on which I'll be running that application. I'll be scaling. Now, how I am scaling here? What is this called? This is called scaling. Okay, so this is called scaling. And what type of scaling I'm doing here?
Virtual scaling.
Horizontal scaling I'm doing. Okay.
Got it.
Means
Adding multiple.
adding multiple instances, number of instances. But how I'm doing it? Physically. Okay. Means I'm going purchasing servers and then I'm doing the scaling. Okay. So this is called scaling. And what kind of scaling? Horizontal scaling. Means adding number of instances to serve the users of my website. Okay. Horizontal scaling. But the similar thing you can do here in Azure with the virtual machines without purchasing any servers, without doing anything. And they also provide you an option to perform this scaling manually or automated. Manually means, say for example, how I will perform manual scaling. For example, I got a alert that my server is running on 80% of the traffic load. Okay. Now, since my server is running on the 80% of the maximum traffic load, what I need to do? I need to scale a machine. I need to add a machine. Virtually, I can create a new machine. I can add to that machine. And I can deploy a load balancer. So the request will go in a round robin, following a round robin algorithm using the load balancer. For example, I have two machines. Now I created two machines here. Okay. So say for example, this is one machine. Now I created another machine. Now both are serving. Okay. And what I need to do? I need to have a load balancer over here. So load balancer is not nothing but just a kind of a web server. Load balancer. What this load balancer do? Now instead of users, instead the users will not that these are the users of my application. Okay. Over the internet users. Earlier users were directly accessing the website on my machine here. Now, since I got a alert that my machine is running on 80% of the network capacity or total traffic. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll create another machine here with similar configuration. And say, for example, this machine can handle 10,000 requests, 10,000 requests. So this machine is can also handle 10,000 requests. So
So you'll be charged for both 10 plus 10,000, 20,000 VMs. Is that understanding correct?
definitely you will be charged for another VM as well. But that will be, I'll make you understand. Okay, that will be for what? For example, I'll give you a scenario here. Okay. For example, I have a website and customers are coming to that website. Say this is an e-commerce website. I'm selling some clothes. Okay. E-commerce website. Now, generally, my website has a load of some 5,000 requests on daily basis. But what happens? Diwali is coming. Okay. Diwali is coming. What will happen gradually? The load will increase on my application, right? It may go to the 8,000 request. It may get
Yeah.
to 8,000 requests. Now, what is the count? This is something about 80% of the total load capacity of my system, right?
Yes.
Or my application. 8,000, and it is gradually increasing. In next other day, it increased to some 8,250. On the next day, it increases to 8,500. On the next day, it is increased to 9,000. This is how increasing at the time of Diwali festival. Now I created another machine. So I created another machine. Why? Because my load bearing capacity of the machine is getting uh, like you can say it is on the peak. It is on the peak. Okay. So I created another server and I deployed a load balancer so that now the user will not directly request the server. The request will go through the load balancer. Now this load balancer is my front end and I'll give a public IP to this load balancer. I'll give a this is the front end. Earlier, the front end was that server. Okay. And now these become my backend pools, backend machines. Okay. Backend machine. Both. These both are becomes my backend machine now. Okay. And generally we call it backend pools. Backend pool. So these are the backend pools and this is my front end. Now the load balancer will distribute the request accordingly. Means now this is up to it has taken 90% of the request. So what it will do, it will stop giving request to this server. Now it will provide the request to this server. Since it is a new server and it can take request, so it will send the request to this server. Again, I can get some once, like for example, now the request goes to crosses 10,000. 10,000. Now my server is safe because I have another machine in my backend pool. 10,000, some it reaches to 12,000, then gradually it reaches to some 18,000. Again, I'll get a notification. I can again add a machine. Now, see this scenario is till Diwali ends. Okay, after 5 to 7 days of Diwali, what happens? Gradually, the traffic is coming down on my website now. Okay. So for example, the traffic comes back to some 9,000, then it comes back to some 8,500, then it comes back to some 8,000, and gradually it reduces to 5,000. Now, is there any sense to keep this machine here?
No.
No. What I'll do, I remove this machine. Since I created it virtually from the cloud server, so I remove this machine. But if it would be a physical server or a physical machine which I have purchased from the market, then I'll not do that. Like I'll go back and sell that machine again. What will happen? Nothing. Because I will think like that, okay, I can keep it for the next time. Okay. But can you maintain that for long 1 year? That new server. So for example, it's not about the new server. It's about hundreds of server you are purchasing for that Diwali. Can you maintain that for whole year without any festival?
No.
No, there is a lot of cost involved maintaining those servers. So that's why we go to the cloud providers. Okay. Now cloud providers, what they do? We don't have to do anything. We just create a machine, and when needed, we can create a machine. When we do not need that machine, we can simply delete it. Now I'll again come back to my that single server. The application is running on the single server. I deleted that machine. I am again on my single server. So now, for example, say for example, this machine has a cost from Azure. This machine has a cost, say around $6, $6 per hour. Okay. Or it has a cost of say something around 5,000 rupees per month. Sorry. Sorry. $5,000 per month. Okay. Or $6 an hour. Okay. They provide you both kind of pricing, monthly and hourly as well. Okay. So $6 per hour or $5,000 per month. This is a price of a single machine. Okay. Operating price of that single machine. Now see this machine I created just for 7 days. Just for 7 days. So if it is a $6 per hour, based on $6 per hour, they will charge me for 7 days. They will only charge me for 7 days. So charge me for 7 days. So is it best to purchase a new server, or it is best to create a machine for 7 days?
To create a
Machine for
machine for
7 days.
7 days.
Right. Right. So this is how cloud works. Okay.
Sir, one doubt here with with respect to the load balancer.
Mhm.
Do we also does the $6 will include the cost of load balancer
No,
also,
no,
or
no, no, no.
okay?
Okay. There's a purely charge of that machine. Okay. Load balancer does not keeps anything into it. Okay. Whatever it's there, it is generally sending the request to the machines. Okay. Now it becomes a front end. The request will come to it. It will distribute the request.
So there's technically no cost for the load balancer.
Yes.
Got it. Thank you, sir.
So it will charge for the 7 days. Now this is horizontal scaling. Now for scaling, we have services here. So specifically for scaling, we have a compute service in Azure. Like we have single virtual machine, but when we create another machine, we have to do it manually. Still, we are creating in Azure. Okay, but we have to do it manually. Since you get an alert from this machine that your machine is running on 80% of the traffic, so you created another machine. Will you do it manually every time?
No,
No,
it is
can be
by the
automated.
auto scaling.
Right. So what we will do, we will prefer auto scaling. We will prefer auto scaling. So when we prefer auto scaling here, we have a different kind of service, and that service is known as VMSS here. So VMSS means virtual machine scale set. Machine scale set means it is a grouping of virtual machines. Grouping of virtual machines. I can start with a minimum of two. With a minimum of two machines. Two machines in a scale set, and can scale it up to this number. So there are two things in scale set service. When we talk about scale set service here, two categories are there in the scale set service. And that those categories are: first, availability set. Means VMSS of type availability set. Availability set. VMSS of type availability set. Another one is VMSS of type scale set. Now both have different scale set.
Both have a different purpose,
Yes,
right?
correct, correct. So both have different purpose. Now say assume one client comes to me and he says that I need a service or I need a resource. I just need to accommodate 5,000 users. Not more than that, not less than that. Means every time I will be having 5,000 users. Anyhow, the users will not increase. So what is this? This is a limited scope, right? We just need a service where it needs to serve 5,000 users. Okay. See, it is a client needs to a client or the user needs to deploy a solution for their internal use. Internal use. Now, when I say internal use means company wide. Okay. And says there will only be 5,000 users within the company. This is one requirement. So I'll suggest him go with availability set. Now, since I can create a VMSS virtual machine scale set with particular number of machines which can serve those 5,000 users. For example, I can create an availability set with 5 machines. Now there will be 5 machines only. And that VMSS will make sure that at any given time, minimum machines which can serve 5,000 users are available over there. So that is known as availability set. Another type of request that another type of request is the same as we took an example of e-commerce website. Now in the e-commerce website, the users are not limited. The users cannot be limited. It may increase on the festival time. May increase on festival time. Since that website is not for internal use, it will be used publicly. Okay. It will be used publicly. Anyone can come and it can access the website. Okay. So it may increase on festival time. So go with scale set. So what it will do? It will scale the machines automatically. Scale set. So it can start with a minimum of 2 machines you can start, and maximum it can go to 9,999. So that VMSS service of type 2 categories, one is availability set, another one is scale set. So in scale set, it is very simple. You have a scale set, and inside that scale set, you created 2 machines. Initially, you started with 2 machines. And over the period of time, as per the requirement, what it will do, either it will increase the number of instances, means either that will scale out, either that will scale in. Scale out means increasing the number of instances, and scale in means decreasing the number of instances. So that will be taken care by VMSS, virtual machine scale set. We don't have to worry about that. Like we did in a case of single virtual machine. We created machine by ourselves. We created load balancer by ourselves. Everything we have to do with by our own. Here, everything will be taken care by VMSS. Even the load balancer is also taken care by the VMSS. We don't have to worry about it. And they will only charge for the number of machines which are working in the VMSS. Now, suppose you initially started with VM1 and VM2. As the requirement came, you are adding the machines, number of machines. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accordingly. Okay, you can add till 9,999. That number of VMs you can add. 3, 4. Best example is New York Stock Exchange. So in the New York Stock Exchange, That is I'm not telling by my own, that is a testimonial given in the Azure website. Okay. So in the New York Stock Exchange, at the time when the market is closed, okay, till then some 100 servers or 100 machines are running to serve the people or the users. But as soon as the stock market opens up in the morning, that count of the machines goes to 3,000. And as soon as the market shuts down in the evening, it again comes back to some 100 machines. That is what? Scale out and scale in. Using what? Virtual machine scale set. So this is a scale set. So in this kind of solution where users kept on increasing, whether on a daily basis, whether on a monthly basis, does not matter. Like I've given you an example of stock market. So when the market is down, down means it is shut down. Okay. At the time of shutdown, the website runs on some 100 instances. But as soon as the market comes up or opens up, so number of users gradually increasing on the website. So it scales up to 3,000 machines. And then every day, once the market is closed, what happens? It comes back to some 100 machines again. So this is a practical use of virtual machine skill set. Now, when we talk about availability set here, so availability set you will create with some machines. Okay. So for example, I created availability set with 5 machines here. 5 machines. One is there, second machine, third machine, fourth machine, and say fifth machine. So I created with 5 machines. So every time there will be no scale happen in this availability set, no scaling. Okay. Minimum number, these minimum, or you can say maximum, whatever it is, you will have these many machines only. 3. But how it works, I'll tell you. Okay. How availability set works. Means at any given time, there should be a machine available to serve you. At any given interval of time, there should be minimum machines available to serve the users. So now how this happens? For example, one machine, another machine, third machine, fourth machine, fifth machine. Okay, like this. So you created 6 machines. Okay, sixth machine. Now in availability set, there is a concept. There is a concept of upgrade domain and fault domain. Fault domain. What is this update domain and fault domain? So since availability set promises that there will be minimum number of machines available to user at any given time, it does not promise about scaling, but it promises about the availability of the machines. So there is a difference between those two requirements. One is someone is making a promise that machines will be scaled up as the user increases. That is scale set. That promise is made by scale set. Availability set does not make that promise. Availability set says that there will be minimum number of machines at any given time available. Whether there will be an update happening, whether there will be a fault in the network, at any given time, we promise you that minimum number of machines will be available. But how they make this availability set? So using upgrade domain and fault domain. What is upgrade domain and fault domain? For example, this is my VM1 and my VM1 falls in upgrade domain 1. Okay. Similar way, this is my VM2 and my VM2 falls under upgrade domain 2. This is my VM3 and my VM3 falls under upgrade domain 3. This is my VM4. My VM4 falls under this. I'm talking about this availability set. And my VM5, this also falls under update domain 5. And my VM6, this again falls under update domain 1. Now let's say a minimum of, as per the requirement, a minimum of 4 machines should be available out of 6. That is the requirement from the client. So accordingly, when I'm creating an availability set, accordingly it grouped the virtual machines to the update domain and the fault domain. So what will happen? What is upgrade domain? So upgrade domain means
Well, software upgrades, right?
correct. So upgrade domain means update domain means when we need to upgrade, we need to perform any upgrade or apply any patch to the machine, to the software of the machine. So at that time, it will need a downtime. It will need a downtime. Azure asks a minimum time, not minimum. Azure asks for a time window of 30 minutes for the upgrade. Window of 30 minutes means upgrade can be done in 1 minute, can be done in 2 minutes, can be done in 3 minutes, can be done in 4 minutes, can be done in 30 minutes, but not more than that. Okay. So Azure asks for a time frame of 30 minutes for the upgrade. So now, for example, if an upgrade comes, so what machines will be down? If an upgrade comes, what machines will be down?
Whatever
VM1,
machines were
V,
performing the upgrade.
VM1,
VM1 will be down,
VM6.
VM6 will be down. Still, VM2, VM3, VM4, and VM5 are serving you as per the contract. What does the contract says? Minimum of 4 machines should be available out of 6. Correct? Is it
Yes.
okay? So minimum of 4 machines are serving you. Even these two are gone for an update. After an upgrade, when the machines come up, then only it will switch to the upgrade domain 2. So when it switches to upgrade domain 2, so only when the machines in upgrade domain 1 comes up, then it will perform an upgrade on upgrade domain 2 machines. Otherwise not. So once this is done, it will switch to, okay, I'll make a dotted line, okay, because it will do it after some time. Okay, so dotted line will be fine. So after once it is done, then only it will move to the other machine. So this is upgrade domain. Now we talk about fault domain. What is fault domain?
Network update.
Correct. So fault domain means since the machines are connected to the network and hence we need to update the network devices as well. So now they will divide this into, for example, these two machines they will keep in FD1, fault domain 1. These two machines they will keep in FD2. And these two machines they will keep in FD3. Now who provides the network to the this cloud providers? Definitely the internet service provider. Okay. So they do not have just single internet service. In your office also, if you are working in your working location, there might be two or three internet providers. One is active, others are standby. Okay. So why we keep standby? At the time of if someone wants to do an upgrade to their network devices, okay, then the standby one will become active. And the one which is on active, they will go for an update for their network devices. So sometimes you get an email in your office. Okay. For example, I have 10 buildings. So sometimes they said network in this building will not work today. It is under maintenance. You can go and use these buildings. Some other building they will talk about. Okay. Sometimes you will get an email like that in your office as well. So similar way in Azure also, they have divided these machines into fault domains. So when, say for example, an update, network update is going on into fault domain 1. So VM1 and VM2 will be not available. How many machines will be available? VM3, 4, 5 and 6. Still, they are fulfilling this requirement. A minimum of 4 machines will be available out of 6. So this is known as update domain and fault domain. It is divided, this is known as availability set. That at any given interval of time, 4 machines are available. That promise I have made to my user or client. I think everything is understandable here. Okay. Even not in a case of maintenance, even in a case of disaster as well. For example, there, say the network of one network provider failed. Okay. Then also 2 and 3 are available. The standby one. Okay. Not standby, all are active only because otherwise these two will be in the standby. All are active. Okay. So this is for scaling, we have VMSS, virtual machine scale set and availability set. So one compute service is virtual machine, another compute service is VMSS for scaling. I'll go through that slide once again, which I just shared you guys. Okay. To just show you over there as well.
Abhishek, I have a question. So when we select the availability scale set, there is any criteria where, we have to select the minimum of these many, or it depends upon the client wish whether, wish that they can go for one, two, or three.
One, I don't think, but two minimum is there.
Okay.
Yeah. But if say if two instances will not be there, then why you are saying grouping of virtual machines?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
The concept is of, backup, so minimum of two should be there.
Yes. Just going through the availability set. This I shared, This I shared over the recording folder which I created over there. This I shared. So virtual machine scale sets we are talking about now. Virtual machine scale sets lets you create and manage a group of identical load balanced machines. Identical means same type of machines. Okay. If you simply create a VM with the same purpose, you need to ensure they were all configured identically and then set up network routing parameters. Means if you go with the single machine for your purpose, okay, then you have to make sure that whatever machines you will be creating in future for scaling purpose, they should also be identical. Okay. So that is a big headache to maintain. So similarly, for that purpose only, we are going through this VMSS. Scale sets allow to centrally manage, means from one place only you can manage all the machines, all the instances. From one place you can configure, update all the machines. Okay. You don't have to go inside each machine and you need to update. No. You can manage from one place itself. Okay. The number of VM instances can automatically increase or decrease in response to the demand. That is called scale out and scale in. Or you can set it to scale based on different schedule. Virtual machine scale sets also automatically deploy a load balancer. So load balancer is also available over there to make sure that your resources are being used efficiently. It's not like that 10 requests are going to one machine only. No. Okay. It is used efficiently. With virtual machine skill set, you can build large scale services for areas such as compute, big data, and container workloads. Virtual machine availability set are another tool. Okay. So that was the skill set. Availability set means another tool to help you build a more resilient, highly available environment. So availability sets are designed to ensure that VMs stagger updates and have varied power and network connectivity, preventing you from losing all your VMs with a single network. Okay. The availability set do this by grouping machines into update domain and fault domain. This is update domain, this is fault domain. Okay. Now you can see fault domain, update domains, update domain. So they create an availability set within the update domain. Okay. Like this also. Either this is the same, this is the diagram of this fault domain, update domain. This is another type of diagram. So this is an availability set, update domains, fault domains. So VM1 is in update domain 1, VM6 is in update domain 1. Still you are available with VM7, 4, 2, 3, 5. Update domain 2, 2 VMs. Update domain 3, 3 VMs. Upgrade domain 4, 1 VM. Upgrade domain 5, 1 VM. Similarly with the fault domains. Like in fault domain 1, still 4 machines are available. In fault domain 2, still 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 machines are available. If fault domain 3 goes down, still 5 machines are available. So like this. This is availability set. Now we'll perform an activity with the machine. Okay. That we'll do tomorrow. Tomorrow 8 a.m. Please join because today already I took one class. So it's already 3.5 hours.
Sure. Thank you, sir.
Can both upgrade and fault domain go at the same time? Uh, can, yeah, everything is possible. Okay. But still they promise to manage it anyhow. Okay. Anything is like a big disaster will come, everything will go down. No issues. Okay. A cyclone will come in some place at US, everything will go down.
Yeah, thanks.
They will say like